Alrighty. How's it going, guys? So we're going to be picking up where we left off. Right now I have our soundtrack playing because I do want to make sure that the audio level of our game isn't going to impede my voice. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me okay over the sound effects. So please let me know if I need to lower the desktop audio or if everything is okay. Non-stop ask, can we ask anything in this chat? Absolutely. You can ask me anything you want while we are working on this. If you have questions about how something is done, or if you have questions about your own projects or anything that is related to what I'm working on or related to course 3, definitely ask it. Alrighty. So let's go ahead, shut this off. So where do you start if you want to make a game? I would definitely recommend the Ultimate Guide to Game Development with Unity. If you check out the description, there's a link that would take you to the course 3, and if you go to my profile, you can find the Ultimate Guide. And here's a link. If you you can go to that link to the for the Ultimate Guide to Game Development with Unity, and there's a coupon code in the description. So that will get you started with Unity and game development. All right, so where we left off yesterday on this was the game over sequence. I was trying to debug why the audio wasn't fading in. So let's go ahead and check out where we are currently. How much math is needed to be a good game developer? Very little. I believe in majority of my courses, like, there is not a lot of math at all. So, I mean, we have some of my students in this course, in this chat right now, and they can attest that you really, you know, when it comes down to math, it's very basic math, and if I ever need a formula, you know, you Google search what you need. You're not expected to be a mathematician to be a game developer. Not at all. Alright, so let's go ahead. Here's our checkpoint. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and die. Alright, let's go ahead continue with an ad. Alright, so here we are back, but our audio didn't come back. So that's where I want to start debugging things. I also want to find out why it attacks me when I come back. Like what branch of mathematics? We're talking like I'd say linear algebra is probably the best, as well as trigonometry. If you're gonna be working with like sine and cosine to do like circles. When it comes down to math, though, really like it's some physics helps, but mostly it's what I find is like Pythagorean's theorem, distance formula, being able to calculate like x equals x2 minus x1. To calculate like directions and stuff is probably the most important thing that I use. Just calculating distance between objects, directions to face, vector math. Nothing like super out of the ordinary though. And I teach in the Ultimate Guide to Game Development, I really break it down in how the math works. Yes, yeah, nice Unity ad integration there. It's awesome. So linear algebra, vectors, basic trigonometry is enough. Yeah, absolutely. And definitely order of operations, which is called like PEMDAS. So order of operations is definitely also super important. Other than that though, yeah, I mean, if there's anything heavy on math, you can just Google search what you need. And if you know what to Google search for, then you can continue on. You know, a lot of programming is essentially being a software engineer makes you a professional Googler. All right, let's see here. A basic understanding of algebra helps, though, as I've always felt programming was similar. Yes. Let's see here. All right, guys, so I want to debug this. How is the game audio here? It sounded super loud to me, so I don't know if it's super loud to you guys just a second ago. So are you really a self-taught software developer? Yes, I am 100% self-taught. I started making RuneScape private servers when I was 16. Working in Java, picked up Unity when it came out in 2.6, 8 years ago. And then I wrote a book for Unity on 3.x. I got a job at Adult Swim, Cartoon Network's sister company, making video games. And then I moved my way up into a tech startup, creating augmented reality applications, and then worked my way into the casino industry, creating casino software, slot machines, and then becoming an authorized educational partner at Unity. And I did all of that without having a degree. So I do have a degree today. I have a degree in technical project management from DeVry, and I wholeheartedly got the degree to please society. So I didn't learn anything from school that I didn't self-teach myself. Every job I encountered, it was my skill over the degree, but I was still looked at as you should probably have a degree. So after making it in this industry, that's when I decided to get a degree for me. And I went to a school who looked at me and said, we'll take proficiency credits. And I gave them my book, and I gave them my job history, and I had to take maybe 2 semesters at DeVry, and they were like, we'll graduate you. I was like, win. So yes, it is possible to become self-taught. I know several self-taught software engineers in this industry. What I will say about the degree is it's worth having because society still expects you to have a degree. So am I proud that I have a 4-year degree? Yes, but I did it on my own terms. You know, I got it when I wanted to get it. I didn't get it because society said I needed it. So, but I will admit having a degree helps. But what's really crazy about it is as soon as you have the degree, everyone just shuts up. No one cares. But if you don't have that degree, you know, everyone cares. So, you know, get it. But if you're in a position where you know, if your skill is better and it comes down to you have to really want to make it in this industry. You know, I had to work extra hard to be as good as I am in the workplace because I had to prove that the degree was useless. You know, I had to really work hard to prove that I'm better than anyone on your team with a degree. And in most cases, you are. If you started programming when you're 16 years old, trust me, you are way better than anyone with a degree. I used to work with Georgia Tech grads all the time, and they're so book smart, but they literally have 0 real-world experience. And when it comes down to today's world, real-world experience is what's going to drive companies forward. So self-taught education is honestly the best. All right, so let's go ahead here and let's debug this. So I want to know why the audio levels aren't coming back. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our audio manager where we have that fade code. Let's check this out. So inside here, I'm calling fade audio routine, and this is never getting called because I'm assuming volume is never 0. So what I want to do here is before I even assign the volume to something, I just want to debug.log what our volume currently is when this is being called. So here we're in the audio manager, and this is the fade audio routine. Audio manager fade audio routine, and I want the volume. So let's go ahead and grab our source.volume. All right, let's go ahead and reach our checkpoint and let ourselves die. Alright, so we're going to make our way over here. Alright, so we die. Alright, we're going to go ahead and watch an ad to continue. Alright. So here it said audio manager fade audio routine volume was 1, and then it got called again and the volume was 0.9. So that function got called way too quick. And essentially what happens is it resets itself. It's calling this else statement, which says to decrease volume. So what I think is going to be the best solution here is I need to actually break this into fade audio in and fade audio out routines. So let's go ahead here and let's go ahead and just break this out into an IE numerator. We're going to have a fade audio in. Let's call it routine. And then here we're going to go ahead and create an IE numerator, and we're going to have a fade audio. What is happening here? Fade audio out routine. So when you fade audio in, let me see here. I think it's just going to make more sense to do it this way. So when you fade audio in, we want to also pass in a source. So we're gonna have an audio source. We're gonna have our source. We have our target volume, because maybe you don't want to fade all the way out. And then we still have our duration for how long it should take. And the same goes for when you fade out. So let's go ahead and put that in here. And then the logic is going to be the same. So we're going to store the volume in whatever it is. So our volume is going to equal the source.volume. So here, volume equals the source.volume. All right, and then we're going to grab these while statements. So this is going to decrease volume. So we are going to fade audio out. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do this statement here. So while volume is greater than the target volume to fade out, and then here to fade in. So we have fade audio in routine. And we're going to go ahead and copy that logic to increase the volume. And we'll get rid of this. So here now, when we call fade audio, we now need to pass in basically, we need logic to determine which one of those routines to call here. So what I'm going to do here, we can actually add something that says like bool fade in. And let's go ahead and say bool fade in, we'll say equals false by default. So it's optional to assign this. By assigning it in the actual parameter like this, it's now optional to include it. So by default, fade in is going to be false, so we're assuming you want to fade out. So what I'm going to do here is we're just simply going to say if, we're going to check if fade in is equal to true, then what do we want to do? If fade audio in, we're going to call this routine. So start coroutine, and we're going to say fade audio in. Else, let's go ahead and do fade audio out routine. So start coroutine, fade audio out. Can Unity work with Python or C++ or just C#? So you can create plugins that work with C++. You can write C++ plugins, but C# is the primary scripting language for Unity. So definitely recommend it. Can you use Python in Unity? You cannot use Python in Unity. You can use Python on the server side though, and you can give information back to Unity if you're working in the web. Let's see, did I miss any other questions? I think it'd be nice to have the music audio fade as a death screen launches, then fade in once the ad is watched. Especially because that audio is going to overlap watching the ad. So actually, I don't believe so. Let me test it out on my device. I'm pretty sure the audio automatically like stops when the ad plays. Let me see. I'm running it on the device right now. So here I have, so right now the background music is playing. I'm going to go to the shop because I don't have the latest APK on this device. But you guys can kind of hear the background music, I hope. Alright, give me a second, guys. I'm just making my way to the shop here because I can open the ad on the phone. Alright, so I'm approaching the shop. I'm going to go ahead and click here for 100 Gs. Yeah, so it's playing the ad right now. And it plays the ad, and the music cut off. And I accidentally closed the phone. One sec. What is happening here? Yeah, so this is the ad. So it actually cuts off what's happening in Unity and plays the actual ad. So that works as expected. Alright, so let me see here. Thank you for the great video streams. I have chart boost ads, and my game over music always plays over the ads. Oh, how can I stop the game over music from starting until the ad finishes? That's super strange. I have not done anything to the audio, and it doesn't play over the ad. So I don't know, I'm not sure if that is chart boost ads, not Unity ads. It could be that Unity ads automatically cancels out any sound. That could be something that's very specific to chart boost ads. I'm not familiar with it. All right, so let's go ahead and see why these functions aren't working. There is no argument given. Oh, right. So what I need to do here now is in these fade audios things, I need to pass in their information. So here we're going to have the source. We're going to pass in the target volume that we receive and the duration. All right. And here we're going to do the same thing. So we pass in the source, the target volume, and the duration. All right, I don't know why it's upset here. Let me go ahead and just save this, go into Unity. All right, start coroutine. Oh, missing a parenthesis. Alrighty, so what's going to happen here, fade in is true, then we want to call this routine versus that one. Alright, so, and also what's important here, I don't know if these coroutines can run side by side, so I don't want them to conflict. So what I do want to do is when I do call this fade audio script, we need to make sure that we stop all coroutines. So we're going to say stop all coroutines. And I believe this will work if I initialize the coroutines like this. I know if you want to stop an individual coroutine, you have to start it with a string. So we'll go ahead and try that. All right, let's go ahead and see if this works. I need to go now to our game manager here and where we want to fade in our audio. Are we doing that currently from here? Audio manager, fade audio, target is here. Okay. So we're going to add a parameter now to this that's going to say fade in, and we're going to set true. So let's go ahead and see if this works. Yeah, is there a way to write code to wait for add to close before game over sound starts? Yes, there is. You can register a callback for when the ad has finished. And that looks like this. So I'm currently using the ads manager and I'm checking for the result of the ad. I can check if the result was finished. I can check if it's skipped or I can check if it's failed. And using those checks, you can trigger events to occur. All right, so let's go ahead and run this, test it out. All right, here's our checkpoint. Die. Oh! Continue with that. Close. All right, so what happened there? Oh, you know what? Hold on. I can hear the music very softly. So the coroutine got canceled, but it didn't call the other one. So why is that? If we look at our volume here, it's on still. So it's not fully off, but it's stopped. So right now the volume is at 0.04. So turn off game over screen. So this here is after, when does that occur? This is after the animation. So this is after we respawn. We basically want to say to the audio manager, instance.fade audio become, we want to fade back in. But it's not doing that. It was like still conflicting here. Let me see how we can approach this. Hold on. I need to see how stop all coroutines works. So stop all coroutines. Okay, here we go. Stop all coroutines running. A model behavior can execute 0 or more coroutines. Created coroutines can execute for a range of times in the script example below. 2 coroutines are created and run without stopping. However, stop all coroutines is used to stop both of them. So how are they starting this one? Enumerator, do something. Okay, so this is what I was worried about. So they're starting it with a string. I think that's the only way you can actually stop a coroutine is if you start it with a string. But I thought there was another way. Let me see. Stop all coroutines without string initialization. All right, let's try that. So stop all coroutines. Let's see here. The object's coroutines won't stop after calling a fixed frame for anyone affirm. Public event, some event, and some event start coroutine. Let's see. Sure, I don't see anything like useful or actually what I'm looking for here. Let me see how this guy's starting it. Alright, so he's doing stop coroutine whole routine. Whole routine equals that routine. Where does he start it? Use enumerator instead of coroutine to store the instance of the raw tutorial coroutine function once in the start function. Okay, so that's how you have to do it. That's the workaround here. So you have to store it, I guess, in a variable like that, and then you can call stop routine. Interesting. All right, well, let's go ahead and see if we can implement something like that. So here we have fade audio. We have these routines here. So basically what they're suggesting is you create a reference to those routines. So, oh, that's so messy though. I don't like that. But let's see if it just works. So basically what I could do here is I can say private enumerator, and then we'll have a fade in routine and a private as well as a fade out routine. So fade out routine. And then what we can do here is when I fade in, I can go ahead and here and say fade in routine is equal to this start coroutine, and fade out routine is equal to this coroutine. So let's just see if that works. And then what I can do here is I can stop all coroutines. There's nothing to pass in here. Let's see if that works. Otherwise I may have to call them individually, but we'll see. Cannot implicitly convert type unit engine coroutine to system collections enumerator. Why not? So an enumerator equals a whole tutorial. Where is that whole tutorial code? It's right here. They assigned it to an enumerator. Oh, that's annoying. Can it not have, it might not be able to have parameters. That makes sense. Shoot. Yeah, there's +2 overloads. Let me see here. What is what does Visual Studio say I can do for this? If I go to quick actions, start coroutine. No, that's not going to do anything. Start coroutine. Shoot. All right, let's do the easier workaround here. Let's go ahead and start them with a string then, because apparently I can't pass in parameters that way. Let's see. So let's go ahead, look at this game background. Fade audio. Let's remove this. All right, then we're going to start them by strings. All right, so here we go. We do start coroutine. And then we're going to pass in a string with object value. Ooh, start to coroutine named method name. I don't even know how to do that actually. Start a coroutine with parameters by string. Is that possible? Hold on. Start a coroutine by string with parameters. Let's see what's in here. Okay, here we go. So float time. This enumerator wait and print. Their start coroutine. They started it that way though. I want the where do they start it? Oh, okay, interesting. Look what they're doing here. They're doing coroutine equals wait and print 2.0. That's this guy with the methods. Oh shit, guys, I could just do that. But where does this variable come in? They literally didn't declare this. Oh, it's right here. Okay, coroutine equals the method with the parameters. Okay, that's how we do that. So we're going to go ahead and implement that again. Let's go ahead and open up our scripts. So we're going to have a private enumerator. Private enumerator. We'll have the fade in routine, fade out routine. And then inside here, we can go ahead and say fade in routine is going to equal the parameter. So it's going to equal the fade audio in routine, or the fade in, yeah. So fade audio in routine, and we're going to pass in the parameters. So we're going to say source, target volume, duration, and just like that. And then we can actually start that coroutine. So there's our fade routine, and then we start that coroutine. So start coroutine, and we're going to say fade in routine. And then now stop our coroutines should work when I run it again. And we'll do the same thing for the out, fade audio out routine. So here we have fade out routine is going to equal fade audio out routine. And we're going to pass in the source, the target volume, and the duration. All right, and then we'll start that coroutine. Fade out routine, and there we go. I have no idea what chart boost is. Is there a way to write code to wait for add to close? Yeah. Oh yeah, I have no clue what chart boost is, but I assume it has some callback method that lets you do something at the end of an ad. Okay. All right, we'll save this. Let's go ahead and test it out. If this doesn't work, then I am going to probably come up with just a quick hacky solution that will work. So let's go ahead and see though. All right. Alright, here's our checkpoint reach. Let's go ahead and die. Oh! Alright, let's go ahead and continue with an ad. Oh, excuse me. Alright, so that worked. So it worked, although it totally took forever to come back. So it's in that the reason for that is because of this. It's the function here in the ads manager. This didn't get called soon enough. So basically, turn off game over screen needs to get called. We need to handle this way sooner. So let me see here. We might need to create something unique for this, but at least we have it actually coming back, which is good. The problem though is that it's like a weird pause delay. Let me just try that again. Am I on LinkedIn? Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn under Jonathan Weinberger. Yes, these artists, yeah, all the art assets were created in Cinema 4D, and there's a course coming out authorized by Maxon, the creators of Cinema 4D. So that comes out in August. So if you want to learn how to make game art like this, Al is going to be teaching. Alright, so here we are. Let's go ahead and dive. Oh! Alright, let's go and continue with an ad. So watching our volume, watch what happens in the right here. So it's going down. And then once it gets to 0, it like shoots back up. So there's like that massive delay, which we really don't need. And I don't know why that delay is occurring. But what we can do here is we're doing this invoke thing, turn off game over screen, and I'm calling that function when the animation is finished. So I don't know how long this animation actually is. It should not be that long. It's clearly there's some just like alpha layers or something like that. So one thing I want to do here is let's figure out how long this is, and then let's cut it to be exactly what it needs to be. So the current animation here that we're doing is continue. So if I go to the canvas and I look at the background, let's go ahead and check out that actual animation. So here is the continue, and this is a 1.03 second animation, just like that. So this is a 1 second animation. So let's go ahead and just modify the code to be 1 second. Let's just do 1.0f. And really, I think this is gonna have to be like 0.6, but we'll check it out. I thought it's made with Maya Blender. No. Al is a professional VFX artist in the actual, like, does a lot of commercial industry stuff. He uses Cinema 4D to create all game art assets, painting, animations, everything. It's a everything out of the box type engine. So, and for game development, the pipeline is way more efficient than Maya in 3ds Max or Blender. Oh! Let's see here. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and continue. Watch ad. Wow, I have no idea what even happened there. Long story short, nothing happened there. Our volume is still at 1. Alright, so let's take a look at this. It's being more of like a pain in the ass than it should be. So let's open up our, let's go into our ads manager. So to turn off the game over screen, I'm gonna let that just handle that. I'm gonna remove this. I wanna redo how we're handling this. So what I wanna do here, there's a trial version of Cinema 4D restrictions. How much do they pay for the ads? The ads are free. Unity ads is completely free to integrate into your project. You can make anywhere between, I think it's like $6 to $12 on average of 1,000 ad views. If they click the ad and download it, you get a little bit more. But and it varies based on traction. Like if you have 50,000 daily active users, then you can make thousands of dollars a day. There's the ad revenue game is insane. It's all about daily active users that determines your impression value. So the companies, it just varies, and I'll show you guys the ads dashboard for this game. If I go to my services here, we can show you the ads dashboard. Where is this? Services, ads. Hey, what's up, Hagito? So if I go into my dashboard here, you can see all the statistics related to our current ads. So right now, the current APK that we have, it's a little busted, so you probably won't be able to watch an ad. But today I'm going to upload the updated APK that we have now. So that's up there. So give me 1 second here. This is the wrong company here. I actually have to sign out here. Give me a second. One sec. Let's open this shit. All right, so let me see here. Hang on. One second, guys. So inside of here, we have... One sec, guys. I know you guys can't see my screen. Just give me a second. I'll show you guys the dashboard in a second here. I just have to fix something. Give me 1 sec, guys. Hey, so... All right, so on the dashboard here, I can actually go to my projects. And once that loads, I'll show you that. Let's see. Mindblender also good for 3D artist development. Okay, here we go. So, let's see here. No revenue data for time period. I'm not sure why it's not showing me anything. We definitely have some data, but it's just not displaying it for some reason. Oh, you know what? I don't know why it's not actually updating. I wonder if it's because I updated the APK and I need to like update something else. I'm not actually sure. I'll have to look into this, how to get the monetization back. If I go to API keys, retrieve monetization says directly, it's a CVS format. We don't have any test devices. Weird. I will have to, yeah, I'll have to see why or how to get that back. There should definitely be some data there. I'll have to look into that. All right, give me a second. Did he flash his passwords? Yeah, no, I definitely did. It's all good. The passwords definitely got flashed there for a second. I apologize for that, but they're whatever for Defiant Lobster games, so that is all in the process of being adjusted. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys, while I actually fix all of that. Hang on. Oh yeah, the reviews and Play Store were extremely harsh. Yeah, you know, you can't please everyone. That was also our fault. There was some issues on it, but it's whatever. You know, we're looking at the game now. Once this is on there, you know, I think people will have a better feel of it. But at the end of the day, you know, it's about learning. Like, this is all course development stuff, so it's, you know, you can't expect a perfect game, but it's about how to be able to make a perfect game. You know, be able to do what I'm doing now and just polishing and extending this on my own is the goal for that course. Be able to give you the skills and the know-how to do something like that. Was the splash screen customized, or is that Unity branding up front required? No, so Unity, it's optional. So we chose to leave the Unity branding in, but we also have our own splash screen. So we have the Defiant Lobster Games splash screen on it as well. Unity. One second. It's almost done, guys. Let's see. Alrighty, got all that squared away. Wow, that was annoying. All right, so let me see here before I come back to guys. Just give me one more second. Let's see. All right, so here we go. So everyone should be able to see the screen now. All right, so one thing I want to do here, and then I'll look into why the hell the Unity ad stuff is broken. But I need to get, so I just changed it to be 1 second delay. Let's just see how that affects it. But I think I need to change it to like 0.6 to really get the effect I want. Go and kill this spider here. Alright, so here's our first checkpoint. Go ahead and die. Oh! Let's see. Alright, we're going to continue with an ad. Open up our script. Go to our game manager. Yeah, that's really not doing what I wanted to do. Let me see here. So inside, all right, so the way this works is as soon as the ad is over, we're fading out the audio, and that works great. What I think we're gonna do at that point is instead of trying to fuss with this target volume stuff and fade audio because it's being such a pain in the ass, let's just do this. Let's do audio manager dot instance dot game over background music, and let's just set the volume to 1 because it should fade out all the way. And then we'll just set it back to 1 when it starts. Let's just see how choppy that looks. All right, let's go ahead and run this. Alright, we die. Continue. Alright, so something did not happen there, and that's basically the coroutine now taking over. So let's see here. Inside of our ads manager, we are saying to fade the audio by however long this is. Let's go and modify that. Let's do like a 0.4 second fade out. So we're gonna fade out by 0.4 seconds. We reset the player. And then Oh, you know what we can do? We can actually create an action event and process all of this. Let's do that. Here, so inside here we do game over manager instance.reset player. We're doing a fade audio here. And then let's have an on complete event. So once that's done, let's go ahead here. Because this is only, we're going to have to create a specific case for this, but I think it's better to do that. So let's do this. And I can also turn off on completion of the fade. I can also turn off this object. So I don't need this stupid function here, which I never wanted. So I'm going to delete that function. I'm going to delete this invoke here. And what we're doing now is we say we fade out the audio. And then what we can also do is we can, once we fade out the audio, then we'll go ahead and call this reset player stuff, which I think is kind of what we want, right? What's the reset player responsible for? Restoring our health and all that. The question is, do we want that to happen during that animation? Yes, so we still want that to happen, but we want to fade the audio back in after it's complete. So to do that, we're going to go to our fade audio function here, and I'm actually going to clean this up into one function again, because that's how I want it. And let me add the code back here. But so instead here, what we're going to do, instead of doing a fade in, fade out bool, we're actually going to turn this into an on complete event using a delegate. It's going to be a lot more efficient. So I can get rid of this crap. Inside fade audio here, we're going to do exactly what we did before. So we're fading audio source, target volume, duration. We're going to use our volume. And we'll have this. Let's see here. We will have a in or out. So we'll say bool fade in. So that's a universal function. So fade in is going to be set to false by default. We will check that value. So here we're going to say volume equals whatever the source volume is. And then here, if fade in is set to true, we're going to go ahead and fade the audio in. Else we're going to go ahead and fade out. So for fading out, we use this. And then for fade out, for fade in, we use this. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. What's going to happen here is we're going to pass in an onComplete event that will recall this function and give it the target information. So the way we do that here is we have a fade in, and then we're going to add an optional onComplete event. So we're going to say action onComplete event, and I need to use system namespace. So using system, and what we can do here is we can actually create now an action event, and this is going to be an action onComplete, and it's going to be null by default. The reason why it's going to be null by default is so that it's optional to use it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to run this code, and then here we're going to check if it's null. So here, if onComplete is not equal to null, meaning that we passed in something, we're going to call that onComplete function. The way I can use this now is I can go back to our ads manager here, and we have a new parameter. So we have a bool fade in. So do we want to fade in? That's going to be false. And then here we have an action onComplete. So inside here, we can actually pass in a delegate that's basically just, that takes in no parameters. So I can actually define a function value here. So the way I can do that here is I'm going to go ahead and pass in 0 parameters. Just going to go ahead and create a method within this. And inside here, we can actually write some code. So basically, I can pass in an anonymous function into that fade out, fade audio function, and it's automatically going to run this code that I'm writing right now after the coroutine is finished. So basically creating our own callback system. So these are called action events, and we'll learn about these in course 4, which focuses on software engineering. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. Just reading some chat stuff here. Where is... one of the worst skins ever. Still have mine, but no working joysticks. Like, who really wants 2 copies of ET? Duplicate friends gave me. Let's see here. You see Atari is coming out with the new console. Just download and install Unity and give the engine your 1 week for learning. After that, you will fall in love with Unity. Yeah, if you're interested in learning how to make games with Unity, check out the Ultimate Guide to Game Development with Unity. It will get you started. Okay, I just sent you a request on LinkedIn. Please don't forget. Sure thing, man. All right, so here we go. So what do we need to do when this function is finished? We basically want to fade in the audio. So to do that, we're going to say audio manager dot instance dot fade audio. We're going to pass in the audio manager source dot game background music. The target volume is 1.0 F, and the duration is going to be 0.4 seconds. This is going to, and then everything else is going to be false and null. So it's going to recall itself after it completes. All right, let's go ahead and save that and test it out. It's a lot better. This is more so what I wanted to do yesterday. No, I am Game Dev John. YouTube is Indie Sharp. We're experimenting with some branding options. I don't know if Indie Sharp is going to be sticking around. What's it not like? Audio manager.fade audio cannot be an iterator block because void is not an iterator interface type. What is happening here? Oh, whoops. What did I do? Oh, right. Okay, hold on. I'm passing in this incomplete stuff. This here belongs in a coroutine. So we're going to create a coroutine with those parameters. So we're fading audio, and then here we have IEnumerator, fade audio. Here we're going to have the same parameters. And then we need to say start coroutine. We're going to fade the audio, and we're going to pass in the source, the target volume, followed by the duration, the bool fade in, so whatever the fade in value is, and the onComplete event we're passing in. All right, what's it not like? Fade audio routine. There we go. Save that, we should be good. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and test this out. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and reach our checkpoint here. We'll just let die. Oh! Alright. Let's go ahead and continue with an ad. Well, what the hell happened there? So let's see here. We did a 0.4 second fade out. Right? We did a 0.4 second fade out. We called this. It started the coroutine. Oh, you know what? What did we pass in there for fade in? Ah, this thing's being such a pain in the ass. Oh, we didn't pass in any of these. We need to. Do we want to fade in? The answer is yes. That's why. It was set to false. Let's go and give that another try. There are some nuances between the different systems, but none that are huge. Unity has the ability to select what you were voting for, so you wouldn't need to remake a game. Yeah, I mean, when it comes, if you're debating on what engine to use, obviously I'm biased towards Unity, but there's no reason not to use Unity. With everything from the scriptable rendering pipeline, and with a little bit of work, I mean, look at what we're creating here. You know, when you have a talented artist, you can make anything amazing in Unity. Oh! Let's go ahead here, continue. All right, that worked. I'm happy with that. So let's go ahead and do that one more time and we'll watch the audio from the inspector. So here's the checkpoint. It's going to die here. Oh, right. I need to turn off that game object. Let's go ahead and do that. So one thing I need to do is after we call this audio manager fade in, we need to make sure that we are also saying UI manager dot instance dot game over screen, game over panel is off. That way we can die again. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, there are tons of amazing assets on the asset store. Alright, let's go ahead and die. Alright, let's go ahead and watch it here in the inspector. Continue with an ad. Alright, that was perfect. I'm very happy with that. There's a very quick fade in and fade out. Fade out, fade in, and then let's go ahead and die again. Sweet. I'm happy with that. Alright, so one thing I did notice here is this checkpoint isn't very accurate sometimes. So I do want to check that out. So one thing I'm going to do here though is I want to make sure I'm keeping track of all of our cards. So let me go ahead and open up Trello here. Let's see here. Wrong board. Escape. Alright, so in here we have add game over screen to death cards and add restart continue functionality. So we actually have that working. One thing I want to do is I need to, we're going to go and put that in the done column here. Al is currently working on some game audio, enemy combat fixes, outro game over stuff. So here I'm going to go through the backlog and figure out what we're going to fix next. One thing I do want to do though is just look into the checkpoint system real quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and commit this. So finished game over sequences. So what's the point of making a completely new course if there's info that could be added to bonus in the Ultimate Guide? So the Ultimate Guide to Game Development with Unity is designed to get you started with game development and give you a proper introduction to C# and teaches you problem solving and how to research and become a Unity developer. And then the other courses are specific. So the Ultimate Guide to Cinematography with Unity is focused on creating cutscenes in Unity, as well as more intermediate C#. And then the Ultimate Guide to 2D mobile game development with Unity is about creating 2D games in Unity dedicated to mobile. So implementing Unity ads, how to actually publish to the Google Play Store, and how to really begin learning C# because it gets into more intermediate to advanced topics like abstract classes, class inheritance, singleton design patterns, and working a little bit with like polymorphism and interfaces. So it just each course is a stepping stone. So course 4 is focused on game development as a gateway to software engineering. And it teaches how to create real-world apps with Unity, focuses on a lot of problem solving and more advanced topics such as delegates and events, creating action events, callbacks, creating your own extension methods, and anything like that. So it's a tier system, and it's not designed to be packed into one 50-hour course. If it was, you're not going to learn anything. No one can sit through a 50-hour course and comprehend it. It's just not. It's not a thing. So we break it up. All right, so let me see here. What do we want to do now? I do want to check out that checkpoint system. One thing I do want to do though is this is a good point to update our APK. So what I am going to do here is I'm going to go to build settings. Let's go to player settings, and I need to browse to our key store that we have inside of our Dropbox folder. All right, and I have to open up the password here. Give me a second for that. All right. So this is our Android key store. So for that, we're going to just place our password in there. The alias is going to be Dungeon Escape. Unity is like frozen. Come on. Here we go, Dungeon Escape. And let's go ahead here. I need to look at some other settings. This is going to be version 1.3. Bundle version code is going to be 4. We are using IO2 CPP, so it runs on like a native Android app. And then we should be good. Everything else looks okay. And resolution, everything like that is good. Icon fixed. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go to File, Build Settings, and we're going to build this APK. This is going to be v1.3. And we'll go ahead and put that on the Play Store. Tyler said there's definitely some progression from course to course. If you're a complete novice jumping into course 3, wouldn't be recommended. There's just some fundamentals that would be missing. Yeah, absolutely not. Course 3 is definitely for intermediate to advanced users. Definitely course 1 will get you started. After course 1, I recommend you join our Discord community, participate in a couple game jams, then work your way on to course 2, get familiar with Timeline and Cinemachine to create cutscenes, and you'll learn more about intermediate C# principles with the game mechanics. And then you can learn about tile map and creating your own 2D games and functionality and getting more advanced with this course. We're going to use the highest installed. But let me add, I should update the descriptions of these to include the ultimate guide to game dev. Because right now I think it's just this course. But if you're interested in these game assets and stuff, these are the assets we use in course 3. But I will update those descriptions. Let me see here. So one thing I want to look at is the Unity ads. I don't know why it wasn't tracking. So last time I checked this is after we released the course, and there was data for the app. So I need to see what's happening with the Unity ads, why it's not populating. So I'll check that out in a second. All right, when you build natively for Android or iOS in Unity, it takes a little bit longer. This IO2 CPP compiler is slow, but it's worth it. It gives you a bit of a performance increase on the device. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so what I'm going to do now while we do that is let's go ahead and prepare our update. So I'm going to go to the Play Store where we publish. I'm going to go ahead and log into the correct account here. Let's see. What do we want to do? All right, so here's our console. Let's go ahead and log in here. Let's go ahead. We are going to go to releases. Let's go to our release dashboard. We're going to manage a release. Manage, and we're going to create a new one. So this is going to be version 1.3. So I need to wait for that APK to finish. And then we'll go ahead and put some notes in here about everything that we cleaned up. All right, almost done. Let's see. All right, Unity is just about finished. It's frozen here. It's building that final project. Once I get the APK, I'll update the App Store with it. And then we'll go ahead and look at what you guys can do if you have an Android device is you can go download the app and test out the ad. See if it works. Let's see. So looking at what I want to work on next is I need to check out the, let me see here. I need to look into the checkpoint reliability because I've noticed there's an issue with the first checkpoint. So I'm going to look into that. Let's create a card. We'll put that into in progress. And we're going to assign it to me. So Al and I use Trello to maintain all of our tasks. There are other systems out there, but when you're working with artists, it's best to work with something very easy and visual. So working in Trello is the perfect hand-in-hand, especially when you only have 2 people. When you're working in teams, I definitely recommend something like Basecamp or Asana. Maybe something like Jira if you're on a professional team for small teams. And then when you're getting serious, you can use things like Jenkins and create your own build processes. But no, Trello is awesome. I love Trello. So it's just simple. And we created a simple Scrum environment here. Shouldn't you test if the APK file runs properly before submitting to the Play Store? So absolutely. You totally should. So what I can do here before I actually submit that is I can actually put it locally on my device, which I'll go ahead and do. So inside of our... So yes, thank you for catching that. You always should test it locally on the device. So here it is, the v1.03. I'm going to delete this zip file it gives me. And what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to copy this. And I'm just going to go to my Dropbox. And I'm going to put it in here. And now that it's in my Dropbox, I can actually just open up my phone, go to the Dropbox location, and install it directly. So let me go ahead quickly, just test that out. So Dungeonscape v1.3, gonna go ahead and install it. Okay, so what I can do is I can open up the app here and test it out. So, and right now we're getting about 36 frames, 40 frames per second on a Galaxy S5. So that just tells you, 1, our code is performant, and 2, Al's artwork is insane. So it's very optimized for efficiency. And when we do that, what's important here, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Oh, dude, it works so good. Okay, so this app is awesome. So when it comes to efficiency, the reason why we're able to get 40 frames per second on the Galaxy S5 is because our sprites are sliced in power of twos. So that's the secret when you're creating mobile games, is if they're sliced in power of twos, Unity will automatically compress them without losing quality or anything like that, and without putting them into multiple atlases. It can actually it gets the most efficient compression when you're using a power of two. So definitely do that. So like using things like 256 or 512 by 512 textures. All right, so let's look here. So the APK is good, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put this on the App Store now. So let's go to our folder locations in Dropbox. Let's go to Defiant Lobster Games. Here's v1.3. So we're gonna go ahead now and we're gonna open up the Google Play Store. We're gonna browse for that file. So we will go to Dropbox. My God, where is it? All right, we're gonna go to Dropbox, Defiant Lobster Games, and v1.3. All right, once it uploads that APK, we'll then be able to fill out what we've changed. "40 FPS, that's kind of low. Are you using some demanding effects?" So actually for mobile, a target FPS rate is typically 30 frames per second. So as long as you're above 30 frames per second, you're actually not going to experience any sort of lag or anything like that. When you're working on console games, your target should be above 60. And if you're on a console, I believe console games are also targeted, I want to say, at low settings at 30, but you should be at least at a 60. So for mobile games, definitely being in the range of 30 plus is going to give you very smooth functionality. But in terms of, are we using any demanding effects? Other than the particle system, there's nothing really that demanding. We had an issue with, we did have an issue with some of the physics on the particle system. So as of 2018.1, you can actually add physics to your particle systems, which is what you see on the, that particle effect from our spider. And that actually caused like a 10 frame rate drop for it to calculate. So we actually took that out. And got 10 frames back, because it used to be about 25 to 30, and now we're back at 40 once you remove that. At the end of this, if we want to, so right now you're looking at a game with 0 post-processing effects. When we add post-processing effects, it will just take it to the next level, but post-processing typically takes away 5 to 6 frames. So we're waiting to the very end to see if we have room to add it. But I think the game looks pretty damn good without post-processing. And that just falls on Al as an artist, who is just incredible. All right, here we go. So our APK is up, right? I think version code is 4. Version code, okay, here we go. Your app currently targets API 24, must target the API to ensure it's built on the latest APIs, yada yada. Huh, did that not actually upload? What happened? Oh, no, it did. Okay, good. All right, so here we go. So now let's go ahead and do our release name. So name to identify release in Play Store only, such as internal codename and build version. So this is going to be 1.3, right? I believe so, yes. Should be 1.3. All right, so here we have a release name to identify release in the Play console only. And then here, what did we work on? So here, and let me go ahead and just modify this real quick. All right, so here we added game over sequences. And then we modified, created checkpoint system. Added game over, so created checkpoint system. And then Al's gonna have to, we're gonna actually have to modify the checkpoint system again, because we actually don't want the player to necessarily be able to see them. So, and we might create something where when you reach a checkpoint, we'll create some sort of visual element. Post-processing does actually work on Android. I don't know what you're talking about. We can have post-processing, for sure. Added game over sequences, created checkpoint system. Feel free to tell me what you're referring to, but we've definitely had post-processing on our phone. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Indie Pixel? All right, so added game over sequences. We created our checkpoint system, and we just had minor bug fixes. Go ahead and save that. And then this usually takes about maybe 15 minutes to go live. So once you're already approved, there's no other verifications, which is interesting, you know, because you could definitely release something that you shouldn't. But you go ahead and click review, and then you can process it, confirm rollout, and start rollout. So once you do that, the rollout is pretty instant. I've seen it as quickly as 15 minutes. It will prompt to update the app. All right, so that is out on the Play Store. So you can check out the link in the description in a few minutes to find it. All right, so let's go ahead here. Let me see. Let's see here. Something internal must have happened on your end. We recently had post-processing in here, but we had to remove it because it killed. It took about 6 to 8 frames off of our game, so we removed it currently. But yeah, you can definitely use post-processing in Android. There's no reason you can't. This is post-processing stack v2 on Unity 2018.2 beta. All right, let's see here. All right, so one thing let's go ahead and check out the reliability of this checkpoint. So let's go and look at these. So I'm going to need to debug this checkpoint when I reach it. So right now, I just hit the checkpoint. I should be able to kill myself now and respawn here, but I'm pretty sure if I die right here, it's going to null reference, and I'm not 100% sure why. So let's look into that. Continue with an ad, close it out. Oh, you know what? And it worked fine. I was noticing it yesterday that it was actually giving me a few issues. So let's go ahead and see here. Seems to be working fine now. Die. Let's go and continue with that. Oh, interesting. Alright, so did you guys notice that when you die again? We lost the animation to fade back in. So we fade out, animation comes. I need to actually play the animation again. So it just spawns us. It's not actually playing the animation. So that is an issue. Let's fix that. Inside here, we have our, when we call the ads manager, we fade out the audio, and then we do all this fun stuff. And then here we say set trigger continue. Why am I not able to process that again? So that continue animation is like not happening. So let's go ahead and look at that in the inspector at runtime. So here's our canvas. Oh yeah, Unity 5.6. Yeah, you're probably, yeah, I would definitely recommend if you're gonna be using the post-processing stack, at the least be on like Unity 2017.4. Yeah, minimum 2017 for sure. Alright, let's see here. Here's our game over. Let's go to our background here. I want to be able to watch this guy in the inspector. And one other thing we need to do too is if I die before a checkpoint, I need to send us back to the beginning. Alright, so here we go. So it played the you died, and I'm gonna go ahead and continue. Ooh, did that not do it either? Hold on. I didn't even notice. That happened so quickly. down here. Yeah, you can only download these games. So these game assets are available for anyone taking the course for free. You must have 2018.1 installed at a minimum. But you can find these assets on the asset store for sure. Did we use Anima 2D for the animation? No. So there is a new Anima 2D, which is like a skeleton system. We didn't. These were sprite sheet animations. I think in the future though, we are going to be using Anima 2D because Al wants to. I think we're going to remove the sword because we're going to create upgradable items. So we're actually going to detach the sword, and we might be using the Anima 2D system for the sword animations. So if we get into if we do end up using the Anima 2D, it will be added as extended content to the actual course. So a lot of things you guys are seeing now, this is just me using the knowledge that you can gain from the course to extend this on your own. All right, let me see here. I think something is actually wrong with this animation. It's not, oh, you know what? Let me see this animation. I think it might be too quick. Although it is game over, wipe off, continue. Let's see. So we have our fade out. Let's go and watch an ad and fade in. Yeah, so that is like totally broken. I'm not sure what happened there. Let's look at this. Let's open up this game over here. Inside of our background, we have an animation. So we have our game over swipe on, which looks like this. And the buttons appear. And then here we have a continue. So when we continue, it's supposed to fade everything out like that. It's no longer doing that. So game over swipe off continue. And if we look at the, it's using this controller. So it does the black paint wipe, and then it's supposed to go to this continue here, but it's not. So we are triggering that right here. So what the heck? I'm not 100% sure why that would just stop working. All right, we're gonna have to debug that. So let's go ahead and run this again. Whoops. Turn off game over. And let me make sure that our restart one works properly too. So if we die, it comes in. If you hit restart from beginning. Alright, that works good. Alright, restart checkpoint. Continue with an ad. Oh, it's like not doing anything now. What the heck? Oh, okay, here we go. This is what I was waiting for. Alright, so we got this handle rewarded ad. This error when we pass the, let me go ahead and turn off this music for a second here. Alright, we got that error when we pass the first checkpoint, and it's like not reliable for some reason. So in order for the first checkpoint to register, I have to go like really far past it. So that's what I want to check out. So I'm glad we got that error. Looking at that checkpoint, we have a list of checkpoints here. It's this guy. What is wrong with him? So something with this guy's collider is just like not triggering with our player for some reason. Oh, you know what? Duh. I think it's a Z-axis. It needs to be 0. Because our player is on 0. Yes. Okay, that was probably it. So let me check the other one. Yeah, let me set these both to 0. That might fix it. And then they're both on order and layer in 50. And I believe our player is on order layer 50, I want to say. Yes. Okay, good. All right, let's save that. All right, we'll run this, test it out. All right, pass it. Let's go and die. Oh! All right, so right now we just played that animation. We're gonna go to continue. And it happens so fast. Why? It's like not playing that animation. Oh, right. You guys know why? It's this. I am turning off. What's it called? I'm turning off the game over screen after 0.4 seconds. That's not what needs to happen. I need to turn off the game over screen after the animation has finished. So where does that need to go? After the animation is finished, so I need like a callback for this guy. I'm amazed there isn't a callback system built into the... surprised there isn't a callback system implemented into the animator system. I think there would be. Let me see if there is. Kalash, what's up? So let's go ahead here and let's look at callback after animator plays. It would be nice if there was. Trigger event at end of animation state. Set trigger. If animal controller.name hash equals that, no. Let's see here. Thank you. This is the Course 3 game that we make on Udemy. This is a bit late, but you can use a coroutine to check the end state. In your case, it would be yada yada. While that's playing. Okay, you know what? We could do this. Yes. Although I don't know how that would work with, maybe. I don't know how that works with adding that into an action event. We can try that though. Let's see. Let me see here. Man, how is there no callback system? Let's see, perform action after animation is done. Animation events. No, we don't want that. Although, you know what? We could technically do that, but then I'd have to create an animation handler for that, and I don't want that. Man, that really, really sucks, because this works perfectly for the audio, right? Like, the audio fades out and then comes back. But what needs to happen is after the animation is done, that's when we turn off the object. So, trying to see here how we can do this. Is there anything inside of reset player we could do? Shoot. You know what? Let me see if we can do this. Wow. The UI manager .instance .gameOverAnimator .get current. Let's see here. Let's do get current animator state info .is name. This is going to be continue. Actually, you know what? I think that's the actual animation's name. It's this guy. I don't think it's going to let me do this, but we'll see. So while that animation is playing, I want to basically say yield return new wait for seconds, end of frame. Whoops, not wait for seconds, sorry. New wait for end of frame. Yeah, it's not gonna let me pass in that yield statement. Oh, that sucks. Although, I wonder if I could pass in an IE numerator and assign it to something. I don't think so. Damn. So now it comes back down to I still have to use that invoke method here. So let's go ahead and do this. So it might actually not be so bad. Inside the UI manager, I can turn it off there though. So inside the UI manager here, let's do this. Game over panel, set active. Let me see here, restart from beginning. Here, we're gonna have here, let's have a public void. Turn off game over panel. And this is just gonna take the game over panel, dot set active, and set it to false. All right, and what I want to do is I want to invoke that function. So I'm just going to see how we do that from another class. Let's see here. If you reference another script, you can have it invoke calling it some other object dot invoke. Okay, so we're going to do that. So some other object dot invoke. So let's do that. So from the ads manager here. Sorry, dude, I'm not paying attention to our chat at the same time here. Yes, this is all C#. If you're interested in learning Unity and C#, you can check out the Ultimate Guide to Game Development with Unity. Just check out the description. Let's see here. So what I need to do here is invoke that method. So we have access to it. So what I should be able to say then is we finish, we reset the player, and then let's go ahead and invoke that method. So here we're going to say UI manager, we're going to call the instance, we're going to grab that function, UI instance.invoke, and the method name is turn off game over panel, I think. Let's make sure. Yep. All right, so we're going to call this function, and then when do we want to call it? We want to call it after the animation plays. So we're going to say, we would then say UI manager.instance.gameOverAnimator .get current animator state info. We're going to get the sublayer, and we're going to get the length. All right, and this should now fix that. So I should have tested that before uploading the APK to Google Play, but it's okay. We'll go ahead and make another build later. We'll fix a bunch more. All right, let's go ahead here and see. Oh, wow. I just crashed Unity. That sucks a lot. That was nothing we did. It was just the beta being unstable. Just give me a second. Yeah, definitely make sure you save often. If there was anything that I didn't save in that project recently, it's gone. So save often. Let's see. All right, let's go ahead and reload that scene up. Oh man, something got really corrupted here. We have 2 gizmos for Cinemachine here. Let's just remove that one. Should be okay. Let's open up our scenes folder. Okay, let's go ahead and make sure everything is okay. Open up our scripts. We should be okay here. All right, let's go ahead and run this. Alright, so let's go ahead here. We're going to die once we reach our checkpoints. Alright, and our animation hopefully is now fixed. So we're going to continue with an ad. We're going to close it. There we go. Perfect. Let's go ahead and die again. Oh, come on. Why? If we look at our canvas, that means that something didn't turn off. This should have happened. Let's see, why not? Let's see here. We call fade audio. We set trigger continue. And then here we invoke the turn off game over panel after that. So let's make sure that's actually getting called. So if we go to our game over inside the UI manager here, let's make sure this is even getting called. This is the UI manager. Turn off game over panel. Go ahead and run it. Oh, I have an error or something. Okay, Unity was just being a pain. Will the game mute itself when the ad is playing? Yes, the game automatically mutes itself. If you're using Unity ads, it will automatically mute itself. Alright, let's go ahead and die. Here's our game over. Continue with an ad. Close. Alright, so it works flawlessly the first time. And let's see if that log got called. Alright, and it did. UI Manager, turn off game over panel. Alright, so let's go ahead and test that out again. So we'll reach this checkpoint and die. Okay, now it seems to be working. Continue with ad. So let's go ahead and die again. I don't know what that was. Something must have... I have no idea. Okay, now it stopped working. So question is why? So this UI manager here was only called twice because the ad never showed. And this show rewarded ad. So here, what actually triggers our game over? It should be our game manager, I believe. Yes. It calls this game over function that sets the game over panel set to true. So where does this get called? This game over gets called from, let's do a Control-Shift-F. So from our ad manager, we select the type inside our player here. So if health is less than 1 for the player inside our damage method, then we call game over. So the question is, why isn't that getting called? Let's see. Let's go to our game over method here. Is that is true? UI manager instance game over. We are setting, when we reset the player, we are setting his health back to 4. Is that is false, and then we're reviving him. And this is what's actually spawning him, or playing the animation back to his idle. So let's go ahead here and add additional logs into the player. All right, so here's where the player dies. So we'll go ahead and just add some logs into this. So one of the things we'll say here is debug.log, and let's add a note. Player, this is our damage function. All right. Hey, what's up, Aurora? So, Aurora, you should check out the Ultimate Guide to Game Development with Unity to get started learning about game development in Unity and programming. Give me 1 second, guys. Alright. Does anyone know a good C# training? Yes, you should take that. Just go to that YouTube link. Oh, you won't be able to see that actually, probably. Twitch streamers will see it. But if you go to what's it called? Hold on, let me see something here. Oh, weird. I actually can't post in this. That's interesting. Yeah, if you actually if you search like Google for the Ultimate Guide to Game Development with Unity, there's a YouTube ad for it, and you can get a discount code there. But it teaches you C# and fundamentals of Unity and everything like that. All right, let's go ahead here. We'll die. Oh! Alright, so our player code here, it knows we died. Let's go ahead and continue. Alright, the game over panel was just turned off. And here, we're showing a rewarded ad. Alright, so let's go ahead here. Alright, our death animation got called again, right here, our death code. Go ahead and continue. Showing rewarded ad. We'll close out. Good. Turned off the game panel. We'll die again. Alright, our death code got called. So I don't know, there's right now this is 3 times in a row that it's working, so I'm not 100% sure what that was that we experienced before. Something though is clearly not getting called, but it does seem to be okay right now. And there you go, turn off game over panel. Oh, I wonder if I died too soon. It could be that when we encountered that, check this out, I know how to replicate it. If I die right now before that game over panel becomes active, then it's not gonna happen. Just like this. So that means that we need to actually turn off that game over panel like way, way sooner. So right now, the way we can figure out the exact timing of it is let's figure out what the exact length of that clip is, what it thinks it is at least. So here, the UI manager instance game over.length, let's get this value. So here, let's say debug.log, and let's get the value of that. This is the continue clip length. And we'll just, we'll be able to modify this. Why is something with the spider null referenced? When you kill a spider, there's something getting called. And I just need to, when I get to touching up the AI, I'm going to fix it. There's just an issue with when spiders die. Alright, so let's go ahead here and see what this continue animation is. Alright, so that clip length is 5.8 seconds. That is ridiculous. I have no idea why that's 5.8 seconds. It definitely does not need to be 5.8 seconds. So let's see here. We're looking at 5.8 seconds. So 5.8 divided by 3 is about 1.93 seconds. I'd say that is still too much time. So maybe like divided by 4, right, would give us a safe bet. We want to make it to where you can't kill yourself instantly again. And even 1.45 seconds could be too much. I'd say that. Really, it should be like 0.9 possibly. So let's go ahead and just do... Let's try, just make it 1.0f. And we'll have to adjust that value if it's not clear. Alrighty, let's see. Alright, we die. Let's watch an ad to continue. Alright, definitely, good deal. So it definitely turns off before I have a chance to get down there, but I'll try again. Yeah, definitely not enough time to beat the system. All right, good deal. So everything is working here. So let's go ahead and commit this. So we closed out that card. So we'll say fixed checkpoint reliability and cleaned up game over sequence for continue. Let's publish that to Al. From there, we'll go into Trello. Look into checkpoint functionality, done. All right, so let's look through this list here. What do we have? We have fixed health meter in combat. It's too fast apparently. So this is related to AI stuff. So I'm avoiding AI to the very last minute because it's gonna require a big overhaul. Let's see here, change AI to attack when close. We have a quit button alternative for Android. That's a big one. So on Androids, there is no quit button, I guess. There's like a back button. I don't know, I'm an iPhone user, so let me go ahead and see what happens here if I have the game open. And then if I hit this back button, nothing happens. But if I hit, like, there's no quit application. So like if you want to quit the application, you have to hit this weird square button and then you can close an app. So I don't know, I don't really know the alternative here. Like there's no way to use the main menu to quit, if that makes sense. Like nothing will happen on Android. So we might need to modify our main menu a bit. So if I take us back to the main menu here. Oh, you know what? We have to add that functionality too, actually. So if you die. Oh, here, and we also have to fix our checkpoint system, actually. If I were to continue with an ad right now, it's going to null reference on me. But if I go to main menu here, that button doesn't work. So we'll fix that. So let's go ahead and look at that button. Inside of our UI manager here, we have our see here. Let's go into our UI manager. Here's our main menu. Take us back to the main menu. So here we're just going to say scene manager dot load scene, and the scene is going to be main, I believe. Main menu. All right, and then we just got to hook up that button. So we'll open up our game over screen. We'll go inside the background elements and find that button. Yeah, oh, the multitask button, that's what it's called. Yes. Yeah, I know, it's not, you wouldn't think it's a problem, right? But someone on the App Store actually left a shit review saying that they were upset that it included a quit button. So, can't please everyone. Let's go ahead and add this button here. So here is our main menu button. Whoops. And basically we just want to add a click event. So on the UI manager, we will call, oh, you know what? Oh, we do have that. Okay, good. It just there was no code in it. All right, good. That's good. The next thing here is continue to watch ad. So when we continue to watch an ad, if you haven't reached the checkpoint, we want to restart them right here. So the way we're going to do that is we're actually going to have a starting checkpoint that they spawn into, perhaps. Or maybe not. Let's see. What's our current position here? That's our starting position right now. So what we can do here is inside of our game manager, we'll just get that position, right? So current checkpoint, what we can do here is, I don't want to create a checkpoint. Or do I? Although, you know, I suppose we could. Let me see here. So right now, current checkpoint is going to be null. One thing that we might be able to do is say current checkpoint. Let me see here. Current checkpoint dot pose. And I don't even know what access this one has. I don't think it has any. I think it's just a traditional C# script at this point. I think I should be able to say, because how do we access that? We assign it to this. So right now it's null. So it would need to be a new checkpoint, but I don't think you can do that on mono behaviors. So here, let's see what happens here if we do this. Current checkpoint dot position is going to equal the player dot position. Transform dot position. I'm pretty sure this is going to give us an error though, because it doesn't actually exist that object yet. It shouldn't. I forgot to turn off the game over menu. Alright, let's give it a try. Okay, we'll go ahead and die here. Restart from beginning. Let's continue with an ad. Okay, yeah, it gave us a null reference because there is no checkpoint. So what we can do, and I can't, unfortunately, I can't create one. Like I can't say current checkpoint equals a new checkpoint because it's a mono behavior. So it's not going to let me do that. If I try, it's going to say you can't instantiate or you can't create instances of mono behaviors like that. At least it should tell me that. Let's see. Yeah, it says you were trying to create a mono behavior using the new keyword. This is not allowed. Mono behaviors can only be added using add components. Alternatively, your script can inherit from scriptable object or no base class at all. So we need a workaround. And here's our workaround. It's our property. So when we access the checkpoint here, before we actually return any information, we can create logic in here. So we have this get and set property. So inside here, we can actually create logic that checks if it's null. So we have current checkpoint, we get the checkpoint, And then we can set the checkpoint. Now, we might run into issues with this as well, but we'll see here. So basically what I want to do is I want to check if the current checkpoint is null. So if current checkpoint is equal to null, then we're going to... that's not going to work either. Sorry, guys. Because we're comparing vector3s to checkpoints here. This is a class. Never mind. I wanted to be able to do that, and I can't. So set that back to an auto property. Huh. Really, I don't know what the... I actually don't know what the best way to do something like that is. Let me see where we assign our checkpoint. So inside of our ads manager here, we say transform position equals checkpoint, right? So what I would need to actually do is say game over man, like this would work here. I can say this, transform.position equals the current checkpoint. And what I can do here is game over manager current checkpoint.pose. I can basically just check if current checkpoint is null. So I can do that as a ternary operator. I can just say here that checkpoint equals null. If it does, then I want to spawn them at a new vector3, and we're going to spawn them at the initial position, which we can get from the game manager. So let's go ahead and create a variable to store the initial position. So here we'll have a public vector3, and we'll say initial pose, and that's going to be a property, an auto property. And then in our init method, we'll go ahead and say initial pose is set to our player.transform.position. So that way we have our starting position. And then inside the ads manager, we'll go ahead and set that. So here, if our current pose is null, that means we haven't reached a checkpoint. So our start position is our game manager. Our game manager, oh my God, kill me. Game manager. Dot instance dot initial pose. Else, what is it? Else it's going to be the current checkpoint's position. So game manager dot instance dot current checkpoint dot pose. All right, so that works. Now it should fix that issue. All right, we'll go ahead and die here. Okay. And then here we continue to watch an ad. And there we go. And all of our stats are the same. So that is now working. So let's go ahead and commit that. We added main menu functionality. And then what else did we just do? We fixed checkpoint system. Go and publish and save. All right, let's check out our cards. So what do we have here? We have change AI. This is related to all AI. Add health boost. Al needs to create an asset for health. Add SFX to everything. Fix click here to 100 button. Okay, so check this one. So this one should be assigned to me. Let's fix this. As of right now, you can actually spam the add button. And what happens is if you were to go to the shop and click the add button like 10 times, while the ad is loading, it will actually call the reward system 10 times and give you 1,000 gems. So you can dupe the ad system. So we need to make it so that you can't spam it. So here we have fix click here for 100 Gs. And to fix this, it's actually really easy. We just need to create a callback system that says you can then continue. So here, we're going to go into our ads manager. And what we need to do here is make it so that you can only click the button once. So basically, like, disable the button once you click it. So I don't know if that's already built into Unity. Let's see if it is. So like on the shop panel here, we have that collect 100 gems button. So on this button here, you can multi-click it. I just want to make it so you can click it once. So basically I want to turn interactable set to false after you click it one time. So I don't know if I can create an on-click event for that though. Let's try. Oh my god, I might be able to. Button. Oh, I could. Nice. Interactable becomes false. Here, let's try that. That fixes that issue immediately, if this is how that works. So I click it. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. Interactable is off. And now we're good. Click for 100 Gs. So you can only do it once, or you can only spam it. But now what I need to do is after the ad, I need to turn it back on so that you could watch another one for another 100 if you wanted to. But I just wanted to make it so that you can spam it. So how can we, how can I set that back to true? So the way it works currently is great, but now I need to turn it back on afterwards. So let's go ahead and go to where we watch an ad. And here, after we show the awarded ad, and we pass in those options, we handle based on the shop here. So once it's finished, what can we do? We can access that button specifically. So to do that, if we go into our UI manager, where's our shop systems? Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and get a reference to that button here. So I'm going to say public button, and this is going to be the shop ad button. So shop ad button. And then what we can do now is we can access it and turn that property back on. So here is our ads manager. We'll come down here, we'll say UI manager.instance.add shop ad button dot interactable equals true. And that should fix it. So let's go ahead and test it out. All right, so make sure it's interactable at the start. So we'll go ahead here, we'll click here for 100 Gs, it turns off. And it did not turn back on now. And that's because of not assigning a reference to it. So if we click on the canvas here, it doesn't have a shop ad button. So we actually need to give it that Unity ads button. And now it will work. Save our scene. Let's look at our shop panel. Unity ads. All right, it starts off as interactable. All right, here we can go ahead and click here for 100 Gs. All right, and that works. Interactable is set to true. It's now false, and it's true again. All right, so that fixes the duping issue. Sweet. All right, so fixed dupe with shop ad for 100 G. And we'll go ahead and update our card. From here, auto landscape mode. I also fixed that in the previous build. So that is fixed. Settings for main menu. So this here is I believe, needs to be Al. He needs to create a settings menu. And I have to just implement the functionality for it. Let's see here, level select map. So we're creating like this whole level menu thingy. Show please model, I'm sorry, I don't know what that word is. Model Irvani in Unity 2018. What do you want to see? An app updater. That would be a fun one to start working on. So an app updater, basically when I create a new version, sometimes Google Play doesn't notify users unless you have a setting set that there's an update to the build. So what we want to do is we want to display a graphic that says, hey, there's a new update. And when you click that graphic, it would take you to the App Store. That's the goal. So to set that up, we're basically going to create like a versioning system, and we're going to check a server code or a code on the server. So we could work on that. So we could put that in progress. Let's see what else we have. Fix jumping sword arc so it only occurs when the attack cooldown occurs. Fix jumping sword arc so it only occurs when the attack cooldown occurs. I don't know what that one is. I'll have to ask Al about that. I think that's okay. Let me see here. Fix jumping sword swing arc so it only occurs when the cooldown occurs. Let's go ahead and jump and see what he's talking about. Turn off the shop. Okay, I think we fixed this. Oh, you know what? I think that's might be what he's talking about. No, actually, you know what? Oh, no. I'm gonna go ahead and say that card is done. Not 100% sure what he's talking about. When killed by enemies, you can move while dead. I fixed this. That is done. Alrighty, so let's see here. There's the settings, the app updater, and then the artificial intelligence. So the AI is going to be the biggest pain in the ass. So I'm going to wait for that one, but I think I could do the app updater now. That would be a fun one to do. So, and maybe I'll save that for the next live stream. What are we at right now? We are about an hour and a half in. So I might take a break here for lunch, and then I'll be back to implement the app updater. Maybe I'll include an app updater for extended content, because that's a cool system to create. Requires a web service or web server. You think the attack animation should be faster? Yeah, it probably could be. I let Al handle a lot of that stuff. Al handles all the visuals. I just do all the code statistics. Anything with animations and speeds and stuff like that, he touches up, he fixes it. So I think we'll wrap it up here. So we're at an hour and 30 here. So I'll be back later today, hopefully, to do another stream, and we'll go ahead and implement our app updater. I may also create extended content for the app updater for the new course, as having an app updater is something that is really awesome to have. It uses the www class of Unity to pull information from a server like a text file and reads it. So to make it work, all you have to do is change the number on your server. Every time the app starts up, it compares that number. So it's pretty cool. If you guys have any questions, I'll hang around and answer some. See here. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up, guys. If you're just tuning in or if you're new to this, we have an entire community dedicated to the success of our students, and it's part of the Ultimate Guide to Game Development with Unity series, created in partnership with Unity Technologies. So you can check out the description to learn how to make the game I'm creating right now, and it will take you to a course that's dedicated to this game. And then also we have a course called the Ultimate Guide to Game Development with Unity, which will basically teach you everything you need to know about getting started making video games. So with that, I'll leave you guys with the YouTube ad, and I will see you guys in a little while. Hi, my name is Jonathan Weinberger, and I've been developing games with C# and Unity for the last 6 years. I've helped thousands of developers learn to code and improve their skill sets. I currently teach game development on Udemy, an online marketplace for courses. Udemy has over 17 million students learning everything from game development to piano or cooking. Enjoy courses on any device and at your own pace with lifetime access. My course, The Ultimate Guide to Game Development with Unity, is designed to teach you the fundamentals of C# programming in Unity. We'll cover everything from receiving user inputs to creating destructible objects. By the end of this course, you'll make 2 high-quality games you can share with the world. This course is for anyone who wants to learn game development or refine their technique. Whether you're interested in game development as a hobby or you want to make games professionally, this course will grow your programming skill set and help you go on to make your own games and applications. Click on the link in the bottom left of the video player to access a special discount for this course. I look forward to teaching you more about game development with Unity and C# on Udemy.